Welcome back! Today's adventure, the wind. We were nearing the start of our sailing training and the weather lately had us nervous.
I'd rather that than away from it.
It had also been super rainy too.
Over there, over here. 100% our dock lines are less likely to slip if we're being blown into the dock pit.
This clinometer told us to what degree we were heeling or leaning over.
I'll go check our lines in a minute.
Lori has slowly become our dock line champion.
I don't know, probably checked them too much, but I'm gonna check the dock lines because it's pretty windy tonight.
We were just getting used to the weather in the Pacific Northwest. Now we had to get used to it on the water. All while ensuring our boat stayed attached to the dock in a hard blow. This is our bow line. It looked just fine. I love the howl of the wind, but it's also equally frightening. The slapping you hear are halyards or lines on other boats hitting the masts. All with this ominous moon made the nerves we felt about going out that much more. Lori continued checking our lines.
Okay, that one's not officially a dock line, but that's a story for another day.
Lastly, our stern line. We had a few quick items to address the next day before we'd be out on the water soon. Later, Lori addressed a few problematic halyards, including the one for our foresail that had been torn up when our wrap stop was damaged. We had a rigging company lined up to replace that for us in Anacortes. Hopefully that'd be a quick fix. The next day, the time had finally arrived. We donned our new PFDs or personal flotation devices to ensure our safety off the dock. We also made sure the dogs had theirs too, before placing them below deck for their protection. The plan was a multi-day learning cruise to get our American Sailing Association credentials, basic to bareboat. The first day would end with that quick repair in Anacortes, followed by an overnight at Cap Santa Marina, all while learning along the way. We finally had a captain to train us. This is Captain Chris, also known as Bear. He would be showing us the ropes for the next few days.
Alright, so another one that we're going to talk about is when we're untying a boat. Which line are
Well, the spring lines come off first, right?
typically, yeah. So we want to know which one and how to do it.
Before we set off, Lori secured our dinghy behind Alioth so we could tow it behind us, making more room on deck for us to walk around safely. Soon the time had come! Since it was our first time, Bear would be driving Alioth off the dock. Nevertheless, it was still a momentous occasion.
We're moving her.
She's moving off the dock.
We couldn't believe it was finally happening.
Really, you're the one, but
Whatever, you're
awesome.
typically in the class, it's the only time I drive the boat is the first day off the dock. After that, you guys are going to be driving it. I don't believe it.
I'm just happy to be out here. Yeah.
We're on our boat and it's moving away from a dock.
So the fenders, just let, we're going to be using them a little while. You don't have to take them off, just put them on the deck. Yeah, it's fine. We're only 3 hours away from Anacortes, so. Alright, one of you want to take the helm?
Turns out, pulling fenders is quite the workout.
Oh, it's just, you're just like kind of driving a car. You steer where you want to go. I'm going to climb up this seat right up here. See how fast this thing's cruising. I feel like we're doing 5.5.
All right. So many fenders.
How many do you have? 6? 6?
I have 8 or 1, 2,
Oh, you're cruising at 6 right now.
6, 7, 8. We have 8.
Okay, that's a lot of fenders.
Yeah, we got really worried about messing our boat up for a minute. I don't know. People tell you all sorts of stuff.
Right. Come over to see the marker way out off your starboard bow. Aim for that one. That's Coast Point Buoy.
Lori was really doing it. She was driving our home on the water.
I keep thinking I'm too cold, but I'm like, I've got so much adrenaline right now. I'm like,
That's okay. And look, there's nothing out here you're going to hit. So
great.
Just get used to it. Now, one thing I want you to remember, just because you don't turn the wheel doesn't mean it's not going to turn.
Okay.
Especially when we're sailing.
Get nervous about that tanker?
No, I'm not nervous about the tanker.
Oh, that's good.
I'm nervous about the land.
Oh, the land! The cool thing about this tanker that we later realized is it's from Liberia in West Africa. What a ways away! While Lori was manning the helm, I called ahead to the marina to make sure they had a slip for us.
30 minutes out, or my southeast Guamas.
Eventually, we had some time to get the mainsail up for a bit. It was great, even if we kind of had to rush to meet the riggers on time. Soon we began nearing Anacortes, where we would stay the night. Once there, Lori secured our dinghy to the dock. So were they able to install this quickly? Well, no. Turns out, the day those guys helped us, their actions led to twisting the metal on the actual rigging of our forestay. That meant we couldn't use that sail for training. The riggers did say they could replace it on our way back. Alas, we would continue on the next morning.
Alright. So whenever you're ready, we'll have your cap on first.
I was super nervous.
It's going to pull that way. So knowing that, playing a fairway, watching your bow as you're turning, just don't hit your bow. But yeah, you would want to steer that way as you back out.
Steer that way?
Yeah.
That way. Alright. We'll see how this goes. Okay, Lori. And
Back
then
that out a little more. There you go. Okay, she's free.
now reverse. Okay. And I'm gonna turn the wheel hard to port.
Whatever feels good.
Okay.
Hard to turn a little bit before. Turn hard.
We're going that way.
See that? It's really odd.
Should I pull back in?
No.
We're gonna just keep backing.
Hoping that we can get some helm here. Okay, I think it's actually turning. Yeah.
Should I go forward?
Yeah, this is neutral.
Neutral. I'm in.
Hard to starboard.
We're getting close to that boat. Sorry, I'm sorry. I've never pushed that. I didn't realize.
Now straight down because we're going to head out.
Shit.
A little more to port. Just turn. We can give it a little bit of thought.
I didn't mean to do that
No, it's
earlier.
fine. You were getting nervous about the other boat, which is fine.
No, I didn't mean
Okay.
to floor
You're
it.
heading straight down.
Pretty much other people have touched the throttle for me until right now.
Okay. Well, we'll get you comfortable with
Now I know that's all the way forward is.
it. It had a lot more thrust than I was expecting. So
Yeah, I was
that's a
like,
nice
it
feeling.
shocked me too. I was like, no.
Alright, straighten down. Give it a little more throttle. Okay.
We were officially out of the marina. What would be waiting for us out there? Don't miss next time when we get even more sails out and head to Rosario Resort, where we relax after a day of instruction.